Perfect. Perfect. Okay, so I just grabbed some, that is 25mm strap and attached this side of the cooler. So I was going to put a bolt up here, or sorry, a nutset up here, but this headlight looked like it might get in the way, so I decided against it. Oh, that fits in there. Oh, come on. Alright, so that sat in there like that, and although I could make it work, I just thought I would just use this one. It's already there, and it didn't, you know, whatever. That's the one I used. I'm not a very good fabricator, so I just grabbed this strap, cut it kind of to length, and then put these turns in it just with a big ass hammer, and I used the old box trailer over there and just hit it with the hammer till it was close enough. Drilled some holes, and conveniently this bolt is the exact thread pitch and size as the cooler. So I grabbed a spare one out of my box of piston bolts, and that's pretty much in there for now. I just need to trim this a little bit just to make it sit flat without bending this hood latch bracket. But that is sitting in the correct spot, so I was able to just slide this straight out from underneath it, and yeah, I'm pretty happy with that positioning. So now we'll do one for the other side. So from here, I think I'll try and come up to one of these. Not too sure about that, but when I put this one in, the space on this side is a lot worse, so I don't really want to come up to here. I can't come across to here without going over the top of everything. There's not enough room, and I don't know if I want to drill into here to put in a nutset. I could just use this, so it doesn't really weigh that much, and this will probably be doing most of the loading, and I've still got to do 2 bottom mounts, but for now I think this will be fine for a top mount. So I'll probably go to there, and that'll be that side done. Then I can pull that out, and I'll just leave the 2 for now, and then I'll start fabbing up this front chin strap section to just see how that looks, and I'll see if I'm happy with it or not. I also did test fit this, and it looks like that is going to clear nicely, so it doesn't touch or anything. There's a small gap, and it was a happy coincidence that this cooler piping will be able to go under here and around here and completely miss all of this. So I might just go straight down here and underneath the dryer. I don't really want to try and get in between here. It might be too difficult. I don't think there's really enough space. So yeah, I'm pretty happy with that first attempt. It went a lot better than I thought. The bolt holes lined up perfectly, which never happens. So yeah, going really well. On to the next one. Alright, so I've been at it for maybe 2 hours, and I got these 2 mounts in. So it's one from here down to here, and the other one a little bit tricky to get it sitting there. I might want to trim this a little bit more, but it doesn't look terrible. And it comes down here, and I didn't quite get the length of the bend right, so there's a spacer in there. And, it lines up quite nicely. I know you can't really tell, but you can see there's just a tiny gap down the bottom, so I'll be able to control that when I make the bottom mount. And then this side, the bends are a little bit odd, so I can sort of move it forward a bit when I make this bottom mount here. So it's quite sturdy, like it's not going anywhere. I'm fairly happy with it. I'll obviously have to put those rubberized pieces, like I said, or pieces of rubber hose or whatever. The only thing I'm looking at is this is exceptionally close here still, and I think it's going to give me more trouble than I bargained for. Maybe you can see, but yeah, so that's the distance we've got to cover with it. So we might end up chopping quite a bit of this out, but we can come all the way to this edge here, as you can see with this this grill like that. So it meets right up to this front edge, so we can trim quite a bit out to get that to sit back far enough so that sits in place. So next I'm just going to do this front chin strap, get it situated. I should really do these bottom mounts next, but I'm kind of bored of that, so I'll get that bottom chin strap situated, then I'll trim this up, and then I'll finish these off later and paint them and everything and do the bottom ones. So the radiators, I mean the intercooler is obviously not going in today because I still have to do all the other pass-throughs and fabricate all the intercooler pipes that I need. This car is my daily, so I've got a day to work on it today, so I figured I'd get into it. So yeah, pretty happy with how it's going, and we'll see how we go in another couple of hours. Okay, so this is probably where it's going to end up sitting. I think it's not too obtrusive. It looks fairly factory anyway. Obviously it's not quite centered, but the reason I want to move it like this obviously is to fit the cooler, so you can see just down there how close it gets. And if we look at the end, that's the sort of distance we're going to move it. Again, it's just that inside edge, so like ultimately I could tuck it in a little bit more by trimming it, but I really want to keep it stock, and I think if it lines up with this front, that looks pretty good, I think. So I'll try and aim for that. Now, the trouble is, the guard here goes underneath the bumper, which is all of this, and then that is attached to the guard itself. So you can't, like this doesn't bolt on or off or anything. It's all one piece. So what I want to do, and the other trouble is it's got some relatively interesting curves and lines and stuff in it. So you can't just like cut it and move it, and it's all weird angles, and I'm not that good of a panel beater. So I need to make up this much distance. So what I want to do is cut somewhere around here, and then I have spare pieces of another car for that. So make roughly the same cut. It's about that distance, and then just insert this piece into here to move this mounting section forward far enough. So that's the plan. So I've just eyeballed these in the center because these are off a car that had a bit of damage. So I think it was this one. Yeah, this one is kind of bent, so I just sort of bashed it back into place. But it looks like between sort of here and here is the section that has the least amount of difference between, like from one end to the other. So hopefully if I can cut this section out, and you can see that on the end here, I'll just trim about there on this, then insert this section into here, and then it'll bolt up and it should all fit. So obviously this is the wrong color, and we might lose the texture when I respray the car, but I think that that will do the trick nicely. Or at least that's the plan. So I got one for each side, and I'm just going to triple check all my measurements, and then hope I don't screw it up. Alright, so it looks like the internal structure is slightly different from the one I pulled off. So I think this must have been a Series 1, this must be a Series 2. So it's got this extra bracing in here to sort of hold it steady. So it, yeah, I don't think, yeah, so this isn't attached to this, but the nuts are on the back of this piece. So that means that, I mean, we could just cut it off here and just keep those, but I don't know. Yeah, in all honesty, I think I might just start doing stuff, and then I'll video some progress if I make any. But this is gonna be a lot more fun than I thought. Alright, so I managed to get this cut. So I just went, I don't know how to, where's the piece? Here we go. So I just cut it like that. So just along this line here, looks like the texture they stick on before they paint it. And then I went to that point there, which I felt was a good spot because it could line it up well. Otherwise there were too many, like I tried to draw here, there was just too many curves and stuff. So I just picked there. I think it was 50 or 46 mil or something. I'll put a photo here to show you how far in I went. And then for this piece, I cut it at about 150. Again, I'll show a photo of the measurement. And then because this curve was slightly different, this one's pretty bent and everything, so I just had to put a bit of an extra bend here and then just trim that length to fit. Now it's not perfect, but most of it's going to be behind the bumper and quite low, so it'll be hard to notice any discrepancies. And then I'll just fix it up with Ivor when we paint the car, because as you can see, it's not the straightest body ever. There's a few dings and dents and bits falling off and doors don't line up, so this will blend in nicely. I just give it a lick of paint so that it's all nice and silver. Now originally I wanted to just cut it and extend it and put a piece in there, but I think it'll be too hard to get it to line up. I'll keep this just in case Ivor wants to get back to it, because this piece is a bit straighter than this piece, but I think it'll be easier to just do one bunch of welds here or tacks and then paint this silver rather than do two lots of welds, because then I can do two lots of errors, and it'll be easier to replicate on the other side as well. So that's what we're going to go with for now, and I'll get to the other side and see what I can figure.